In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Greetings, Godly Play family. Before we start our lesson about the parable of the leaven, I wanted to do a little experiment that I could do since I'm at home, and we really wouldn't do this in church unless we were in the kitchen. So I have a packet of yeast, and the packet of yeast has 1 tablespoon in it of yeast. I divided that amount into 2, which is 3 teaspoons, right? So half of this amount would be 1.5 teaspoons if you divide it in half, okay? So I put 1/2 inside in another container, and this is the other half, okay? I want you to see how small the particles of yeast are. It's like sand. That's 1, 2. Now I put this, see how much that is? I put that same amount in another container. This container's larger, obviously, so you can see. But this, I put a little flour and some water. And see all those bubbles? That is the yeast blooming. They call it, we're proofing the yeast. And so we put the yeast in a warm place. Some people cover it up. And we know that the yeast is good now, and we can bake with it. Your moms and dads and grandparents might even try baking something with you. I suggest maybe pretzels. Pretzels are very significant in this time we're coming into as we're getting ready for Easter. The German people rolled out pretzels, and they twisted the arm of the pretzel to show a position of prayer. You can go to the store and buy a pretzel, but the best pretzels are fresh. And if you promise to clean up, I'm sure one day Mom and Dad or Grandma will make pretzels with you. If we were together, that's what I would do. I hope you're ready to learn about this parable. Parable has a gray dot. This box is pretty old. We know the parables have belonged to us from the very beginning, from before you were born, before I was born. Parables are God's way of telling a timeless story to people, to all people, that it's a gift. Parables are a gift for us. They're in this box. Jesus was gifted to explain who he was and what the kingdom of heaven was about by telling these timeless parables. Sometimes we come to the parable and we can't get it open. As hard as we try, we're not ready. If you are ready, I promise that every time you come to the parable, you will learn something new. Let's see what's inside this box. What do we have to get ready? I wonder what this could be. Ooh, it's big. This is a big parable. Could be a mountain. What do you think could be? Well, that's it. There's nothing else to get ready. So let's start. There was once someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things that people just couldn't help it. They had to follow him. And he would talk to them about a kingdom. And the kingdom wasn't like any kingdom they had ever known. It wasn't like the kingdom of Warren or the kingdom of Cortland or Champion or Boardman or the kingdom of Ohio or the kingdom of the United States of America. It wasn't like any kingdom anyone had ever known. So just one time, when the people asked him about this kingdom, he said, "The kingdom of heaven is like leaven." What's that word for leaven? We were talking about that, is yeast. Leaven. Heaven, leaven. That rhymes, right? So the kingdom of heaven is like leaven that a woman took and mixed in her bowl the leaven, the yeast. Put the yeast in the bowl and mixed it with 3 measures of flour. Now a measure, this is very small, but a measure in those times was all the flour they would use for the day. That's the amount. So for 3 days' amount of flour, she put in with the leaven. And she mixed it and mixed it. She hid the leaven in this mixture, which swelled up after it was heated up. There's a little cover. It grew and grew and grew. It got big and puffy. The mixture swelled up and was leavened all over. Now I wonder, if the woman has a name? I wonder who she could really be. I wonder if the woman was happy when she saw what had happened. I wonder what the bread could really be. I wonder what the leaven really is. Remember the leaven? This leaven? I wonder if you could take the bread that was leavened and go back to that little piece of leaven and like it was before. I wonder if you have ever come to a place where this happens. I don't mean just in making bread, but I mean in your life. While I'm putting everything away, think about what work you're going to do. There's the bowl with the yeast and the measures of flour. There's the 3 measures of flour and all the yeast, the bread growing. Here's the leaven. The table. And the woman. Finally, look, it's like a big piece of leaven. Like a big piece of heaven. Like a big piece of yeast. Watch. Even since we have started, the leaven's even gotten bigger. What's leaven in your life? What gets bigger and more maybe joyous in your life? You think the lady in the story was happy when the yeast was working? What would she be? How would she be if it wasn't? What if the yeast was too old? Or it was too cold? Or the water was too hot or too cold? Do you remember when you took a bath when you were a baby and your mom would put, or your dad or your grandma would put the water and let it touch their palm, underneath their palm, to make sure that the water wasn't too hot? The same way, the same temperature water, how my mom taught me to make the yeast ready to rise. What kind of water do you like? The water could be a lot of things. I look forward to seeing you on talking on Sunday at 9:30. Look for me. I'm hoping to have delivered everybody's Valentine and Lenten packages. I'm so excited to talk to you and see what you come up with. We've got our tools and things and our kinetic sand, what have you. I enjoy seeing those every week, and I can't wait to talk to you on Sunday at 9:30. God bless you.